Comic book collecting has been a fluctuating hobby since its inception for many reasons. The changes in the community and the world as a whole is reflected quite clearly when it comes to these collectibles. Not only in the art or the stories that they tell, but in their monetary value, which can leave some collectors with regret years later. A lot of times I hear collectors say things like, "Oh, why didn't I keep my big key for an extra 2 years? I could have gotten thousands more for my investment." I think this way of thinking is what burns out a lot of people from collecting comic books. It's the mindset of only valuing your collectible for its monetary value. And for me personally, I'm glad that I haven't listened to the prevailing opinion of how you should be collecting comic books. I buy what I love. I don't look at my comics as an investment in money. I look at them as an investment of my love of the character or story. So I'm going to tell you right now, buy what you love. For a bit of backstory, when I was about 12, I got into comic books. I bought my first one at age 8, which was an Iron Man 3 prelude comic, and eventually I started to get into some other stuff too. I was reading entirely modern comics off the stands, and I was so young it didn't ever occur to me that I could or even should read anything other than what was coming out new. Fast forward 6 years. At age 18, I was really starting to fall out of love with comics. I still had so much love for Marvel characters and Marvel movies, but I focused my collecting passions on action figures, which I'm really happy I did, as it's something I'm still very passionate about to this day. But back to comics. So I recently got back into collecting comics after taking about a year or two break from the hobby. In late 2022, I picked up Spider-Man Life Story. This was a fantastic story, and it really started to spark my interest back into comic books. Then, several months later, I picked up the new collected edition of Invincible, and that absolutely changed my world and launched me right back into comic collecting. I've now been back collecting comics for about 6 months, and I'm having more fun than I ever had before. I'm not collecting a lot of new stuff, but I'm buying stories that I really care about. I've been trying to put together a full run of Invincible, which is no easy task, but I'm having an absolute blast doing it. I've bought around 170 back issues in the last 7 months or so. Many of them Invincible, but of course some Spider-Man, Spawn, and a handful of other runs too. And I'm even dipping my toes back into some series that are just coming out new, like Transformers, and of course Ultimate Spider-Man 2024. But I've never had this much fun collecting comics, or probably even collecting period. I feel renewed, but I'm buying what I love, and I think that's the big takeaway. For me, at least. So many comic collectors are like, don't buy what you love, or else it'll be worthless when you try to sell it. But I really don't think that's the right way to collect anything, unless you're only in it for the money. I really don't think I'll sell anything that I've bought in the last year. I'm not investing in the books for dollar value. I'm investing in my love of these characters. I'm not concerned about whether or not I'll turn a profit or even break even. What I'm buying right now is the stories that I love, the art that I love. My two favorite artists are Ryan Ottley and Todd McFarlane. My favorite writer is Robert Kirkman. And 90% of the comic books I've bought in the last 7 months are comics by them. So yes, I'm disobeying the number one rule that comic collectors state. I'm buying what I love. And when I look through my comic boxes, I'm really happy with the comics I've collected. I have some smaller keys, and those bring me just as much joy as the books with fantastic cover art. Because at the end of the day, that's what I'm in this hobby for. Not the money, but the art, both the visual and storytelling aspects. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps me out. See you next time.